All right, sports fans.
Last Christmas, I gave you bail bonds. But the very next day, you got arrested for bestiality. This year, to save $5,000. I'd give it to Gregory Stevens.
So if you're wondering about that intro vid, we'll tell you in a moment, but this is Gray Fox 37.
And Pikachu 23.
And we're here for recording and chat again. Fred Herbert, who was a bail bondsman, was recorded and his lines were saved, and he became a prank call soundboard, basically. He didn't realize how popular he became until later on, and he was aware of the community, but he felt harassed, sadly. He passed away earlier this year around February 23rd, I want to say, so, we were pretty taken aback by that. It was really sad, but he'll always remain in our hearts. And that was just a song using some of his recorded lines from a classic, Christmas song. There we go. All right. Well, before we begin, we want to talk about one thing that's important, and that's the topic tonight's going to be fake news. And I'm not talking about CNN or Fox News or anything like that. Despite the biases that both of them clearly have, they report news. And even if it's considered on either end to be catering either to the Democrat or Republican Party, they still report news. No, we're talking about the really, really fake, obvious biased, but disgusting sites such as Vox, BuzzFeed, Vice, Mother Jones, I mean, you name it. These used to be entertaining sites. Like BuzzFeed used to have some really fun things, so did Vice, that were, non-political. Now they just basically cater to extreme left-wing ideals. They basically twist stories, they take things completely out of context rather than looking into it, and they jar at people's emotions all the time. They will twist words to get people who don't think for themselves, aka the NPC meme. If you haven't seen it out there, it's the gray face. Real fun stuff. But these sites just really cater to retarded SJW millennials, and we don't stand for that. Although Pikachu is a millennial herself,
unfortunately.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, many of them share that just utter disdain for living a normal life and would rather be oppressed and just under consistent ridicule. And I mean, it's just disgusting. They live off of oppression and victimization. That's the word I was looking for. Consistently. It's gotten to the point to where Pikachu and I are like, how the hell do you live with yourself just worrying about what others think 24/7, acting oppressed? I mean, personally, and we'll get to the rest of it in just a moment, but personally, I think that it's secretly a fetish of theirs. I mean, anybody who spends their time living in so much grief, fake oppression, victimization, you name it, anybody who lives like that gets off to it. And then, of course, we're going to get people saying, oh, I'm gay, or, I'm a lesbian, or everybody's against me. Not everybody's against you, regardless of how people may feel religious or moral-wise about who you choose to love or sleep with, which is totally fine. Regardless of that, one, you're not free of criticism, as you clearly see. Anybody has an opinion about anybody, homo or hetero. And then two, basically you still have your human rights. you're still able to get fair housing, you're still able to work a job, you're still able to get benefits. A lot of companies even provide benefits for same-sex partners and things, but that's just a little sample, and that's a story for another time. This is just kind of a taste of where we're going, but I digress. Before we start reading a few articles off that I found and sharing opinions, I just wanted to read this little juicy tidbit I found before work was over. So this is a tweet by Ryan Fournier, who's a pretty good conservative on Twitter, and this is a little topic that's been going around the news, so I'll share my opinion in just a moment, but here's what he wrote, or typed, whatever you want to call it. California is on the way to having a tax on text messaging to fund cell phone service to low-income residents. If you can't afford to pay for a phone, then you don't need it. It's not the job of the taxpayer to pay for luxury items for people who aren't living in their means.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't tell Pikachu about this, but yeah, incredible. You know, this is no different from the sugar tax in Washington on sugary drinks and things. Look, there's a lot of people who out there who say things like, oh, well, like sugar tax is good because then people wouldn't buy it and we'd have less fat people and blah, blah. Okay. Valid point, especially if they don't want to be spending $20 on a six-pack of Gatorade. Valid point. Here's the problem, though. This is the land of the free. We live in America the last time I checked. And your life, although there are rights you have into your life can also have privilege to it. And no, I'm not talking about white privilege or, any type of different privileges that basically are based upon identity politics. No, I'm talking about choice. You can choose how you want to live your life. If you want to be fit, you can be fit. If you want to be rail thin, you can be rail thin. If you want to be a fat ass, you can be a fat ass. Whatever you want to do is your decision. The problem, though, is that with your choices, good or bad, there are consequences to those choices. So that's where the privilege comes in. How you choose your levels of success in life, how you choose to go through your education, your employment, everything like that carries privilege with it. And that means that you have to work for it. And you're not always guaranteed to get to those higher points. It's something that you have to ask yourself, like I said before, is the juice worth the squeeze? And if you don't make it, it doesn't mean you become a victim. It means that you keep trying or you find an alternate venue. I had to find one myself. I won't go into detail about it, but I'm content, I'm happy, and I found a way around my shortcomings as a result of it. Nothing severely bad, but it was something I never expected myself to show in life, but I couldn't complain. I'm happy where I'm positioned, and I'm happy with my life. It's the same thing with Pikachu. Pikachu's life took unexpected turns, but she found ways through it, through all adversity, and pretty happy? Mm-hmm. Can't complain?
Nope, not really.
Got some milestones to hit, but you're still young? There you go. Didn't want to mansplain for her. But basically, the bottom line is this. It's choice. That's what it is. Everything in life has a choice to it. You shouldn't be forced to take things upon your shoulders for things that are not a right to people. Or we could crack the joke, here's my joke about it. Texting is a human right. It's on the Constitution right next to free healthcare, it's...
Using a plastic straw is a human right.
There you go. Yeah, that's what they should be complaining about in San Francisco. Using a plastic straw is a human right. It's right next to texting is a human right on the Constitution, which was written back in the 1700s, and it's right next to where universal health care exists, and it's free, and it's a right to everybody, Oh, God, I know. You're so terrible, Gray Fox. You don't care about anybody's health or well-being. I do. I just don't want to pay for people's mistakes. Whether they take bad care of their health or things like that. I don't want that put upon me, and I don't think you would. I don't want to be paying for people's mistakes. The elderly, that's an exception. People who are disabled, hey, it happens, and it sadly happens. But for people who cause health issues in the future. Poor smoking, poor eating habits, lack of exercise, you know what I mean. Just things that you can avoid or you can correct to the best of your capacity if you let yourself go. I'm in the process of doing that. We both are, actually. But, don't worry. Even though you can't see us, I'll assure you, we could be a hell of a lot worse looking than you're probably imagining. We're not, we'll give you a hint. We're not my 600-pound life. We're practically half of that. So I'm big. She's slightly big, but she looks better than me, I'll say that. But again, things could be worse. And it's like, well, if you're fat, then why do you say this? Hey, I'm not looking for a handout. I'm not looking for body positivity. I'm admitting it. I let myself go. I'm going to correct that mistake. I'm not going to be perfect or anything like that, but I'm starting off with some weightlifting and everything, and we've got Pikachu doing the same. Yeah. Exactly. So, but again, I digress there. So, yeah, I'm a badass, but not as bad as I could be or could have been had I kept going down certain paths. But again, it just comes down to choice. If we, so yeah, you can tax sugar and things like that, but you shouldn't be doing that. One, it's basically pointless, and two, I mean, where's the fun in having a treat here and there, going out having some ice cream or having a soda or something like that, just, having a little treat here or there. I guess that's just, evil and wicked. Woo!
Yeah, it's evil, don't you know?
And then, of course, those are subjective terms, but that's for another story as well, comparing religion to the virtue signaling of SJWs. But but anyway, back to the main topic now that we've covered that juicy tidbit. So now we remember, texting is a human right. It's written on the Constitution, and if you disagree, you're a racist, bigot, homophobe, xylophone, megaphone, saxophone. Pikachu, you're a megaphone, right?
Yes.
How much of a megaphone? How much megaphone privilege do you have? Lots. All right. Yeah. I'm a xylophone myself. I'm also, this is for Starkiller 69 if you're watching. I'm a xenomorph too. That's also for zombie as well. I'm a big mega xenomorph. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Oh yeah. All right, so let's get to the main topic, and then we'll get to some gaming. So as long as nobody's shut the video off by now, sick and tired of our slightly conservative talk. So basically, there's been a couple of things that have been going out there recently that I've been checking out in my daily disgusting rummage through Facebook and Twitter and things like that. Oh, well, yeah.
Your description is funny.
Oh, it's every day.
But it's funny.
Yeah, every day I just want to get closer and closer to the bleach, I'll tell you that.
What?
Yeah, consuming mass amounts of bleach is starting to become a ideal situation with the crap I read every day. So there was a sad story that I saw about a guy whose wife was basically going crazy about getting artificially inseminated and whatnot from a neighbor of theirs. Long story about that, and I'll just spare it for another time. I got some shock laugh out of it, but yeah, let's just say that it wasn't pretty, and I felt really bad for the guy in the end. He's doing the right thing, though, but it was terrible. Let's pull up another juicy tidbit. I don't know if you guys were aware of this, but on Facebook, there was a chick that decided to post that she had gotten an abortion, and it went viral. The name of the person is, it's like Skyla Rose Loesch, or Lorsch, or however the hell you pronounce it, Loesch, Loesch. Yeah, there we go, close enough. So what had happened was that on her Facebook page, which doesn't exist anymore, I tried searching, gee, I wonder why. Well, let's find out. She posts Baby Loesch number 4, 11/4/18 to 12/11/18, and it shows, I can only assume, the mammogram. So what happens, or the sonogram, so what happens is, baby, I loved you with all my heart, but you just weren't meant to be with us right now. We're going through a lot, and you deserved all the love in the world. Your brother and sister would have loved you too. Rest easy, baby love. You'll never be forgotten. So then it goes #abortion. Now, aside from, and these are two exceptions I have, aside from rape or, death to, or possible harm to the mother, this is disgusting to no ends. Who the hell tweets or puts on Facebook their abortions, aside from crazy third wave feminists? Shout out your abortion! Abortion is life, abortion is free healthcare, blah, blah, and I'm not kidding. People have fucking said that before. This is sick. This is stuff. Look, it's your right, okay? Look, if you're pro-choice, it's your right. But you have to remember, is your choice moral? That's the question. I'm not religious, and neither is Pikachu, but there's still science behind it about when life starts and life begins. You can still debate that, a clump of cells being life, okay, or you can call me like, you're an incel or whatever. You can call me, I don't care. I'm pro-life to those two exceptions, up to those two exceptions. But to just haphazardly sleep around or, not use protection or not take responsibility for your actions and then tweet about it or place it on Facebook is just despicable. Where do you have to gain from that aside then again, considering this day and age, you're considered a hero for having an abortion. And yeah, I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. It's an ironic, ironic exaggeration. It gets worse. Here's what she tweets later. My 21st birthday is in 3 months, so already 2 kids and a third one, she said like number 4, so okay, 3 kids and a 4th one that was aborted. My 21st birthday, she's barely 21, and already she's got 3 fucking kids, is in 3 months, and since I'm not pregnant anymore, that means I can finally drink on my B-Day. 2,220 replies. The head emoji for it is the anger response. Yeah, let that settle in. 2,200 replies with the anger emoji leading the way. So, and looking at her picture here, I don't want to post it because it's got links on there. And so, looking at her picture, she's got her eyes rolled in the back of her head, her tongue hanging out, and then a wreath of flowers on her head. This is the wave of the future here. And let me just tell you something. Have sex if you want to. Have it before marriage. Owe up to the consequences if they happen. Take fucking responsibility for your life. Or just don't have sex. How dare you say that? Well, if you're going to be aborting children, and if the condom breaks or the birth control falls short, then you have to owe up to the responsibility. Be a man, be a woman. And yeah, I'm not just going to say be a man, be a fucking woman too. Don't spread your legs, and guys, don't be stupid and think with your dick. You're both guilty when you make the choice and then regret it. It's on both of you, given certain circumstances, but overall, it's on both of you. Don't blame one another. Take responsibility for your actions, or just don't do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's plenty of other things you can do than just sticking your pen in the company ink, as they say, but again, it's your choice, though. Again, it comes back to what I was saying before, choice. You can do whatever you want to do. There's going to be consequences, but there you go. And this is non-religiously speaking. This is just common fucking sense.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add there, Pikachu?
That girl is a disgusting piece of trash.
Well.
And there's a huge long list of things I could say, but let's go with that.
Fair enough. One of my replies was showing Patrick Bateman from American Psycho flexing himself in the mirror, and basically it's the scene where he's fucking one of the hookers, and there's the meme that goes, when she asks if you put a condom on, and you lie because you're going to kill her anyway. Enough said, Patrick. Enough said.
Yep.
Patrick Bateman is the main. All right. So, here's one juicy tidbit from Vice. Trans-disabled teen model Erin Phillip is the future of fashion. She, not he, she made history this summer as the first black trans-disabled model to sign with Elite Model Management, and she's just getting started. And it's basically a black guy who's wearing like a really weird, super puffed up purple veil on top of his head. He's got arms that are kind of crooked, sitting in a robo wheelchair, wearing a trans written white tank top and some choker around the neck, and then I guess a silver striped skirt, I want to say. So again, it comes to identity politics. That's what. Oh, and lipstick. Yeah, can't leave that out. It's a trademark of every guy who plays girl. So it's identity politics. That's all it is. We have to put emphasis on a person being black, white, brown, whatever. We have to put emphasis on if they're able or disabled, because that's all that matters. That's all that matters to this fake news. And it's just anything to sell these identity politics to basically gain those moral superiority points when they get an argument. Oh, well, at least I don't have humor that makes fun of people who are mentally challenged or who are of a different race or religion except Christianity, boo, and things like that. They all do it because they don't want to be called monsters. That's the bottom line. They perpetually feel that they're living in high school day after day. Everything everybody thinks of them and says of them matters. Instead of having own individuality, they're so worried and so testy as to whether or not they're going to offend somebody, unless it's somebody that disagrees with them. Then you get punched.
There are so many other ways to do that without being so obnoxious about it. Jeez.
What are some ways, Pikachu? Now I'm putting Pikachu on the spot so I can get her to talk.
Why must you do that?
Well, I want you to contribute, that's why.
Let's see. For instance, if you're going to be on social media a lot and whatever, you could type, I support whatever your list of this stuff is, like once or twice, instead of being this upfront and obvious and ridiculous. For instance, Fair
enough. But then Tumblr had already done that before the December 17th. Oh, we got to leave because we can't post smut. So they wore their, Tumblr decides to wear their mental disabilities as badges of honor, basically. But you still raise a good point, Pikachu. That's nonviolent. I don't agree with it because I think that just...
If you feel the need to say
no, of course.
Is my point.
Oh, no.
You don't have to be overly obnoxious.
We knew. Yeah, we knew what you were getting at. But it just, I mean, again, every nonviolent idea still has negative undertones when you go that far. And it's not, and you're right on the button there. You're right on the button. It's a lot better than going out. I'd rather see people just, take pride in their autism or their PTSD. Well, it's fake, but I'd rather see that than going out and punching Nazis and whatnot. So fair enough there. I just feel that identity politics they don't matter. They really don't. They really don't. So let's keep going here. Boy Scouts, of course, are going bankrupt. 1905. It's been around that long, and now they're just being kaput because of sexual allegations. And yet at the same time, they want to lift the ban on homosexuals. Not all homosexuals are pedophiles or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, though, considering how many joined the Boy Scouts and look where they are at and going bankrupt from it, sad, really, really sad.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of keep going. We keep on cruising. Apparently, Sesame Street, they're going to have a homeless female Muppet, even though males are more homeless than female. But again, got to push those identity politics, that diversity, that girl power. But I don't see where girl power comes in when you're living in the streets. So,
I don't get it.
how dare you? How dare you? The white knights are going to come flooding in. How dare you shame homeless white women, you stupid rogue? How dare you? Yeah. I mean, Oscar the Grouch has been living in a fucking trash can for like 49 years, 50 years, something like that. I mean, it was my favorite character, too, because he was brutally honest. That's why my mom said I loved him, because he was very honest. And that's what one of the three things about living with us is honesty is one of the key things, aside from financial responsibility and certain levels of respect. I mean, we shit talk a lot and things like that, but, you still got to respect one another and love one another, so that's where that comes in. But yeah, I guess men don't count at that point. Oscar's been in a garbage can the whole time and whatnot. I think though it had something to do with I think it's something to do primarily with Diogenes, who was a Greek philosopher who lived inside a large ceramic jar in the marketplace. I always wondered if that's what they were basing Oscar off of, but I could be wrong. It's still a good hypothesis there, but that's just something I kind of tinkered with after I had a discussion with somebody today, and we were talking about that, so... let's keep on going. Okay, so we found some stuff with Vox and Newsweek. This is the last thing we'll end with, and then we'll get to gaming in the next video. So, Vox was posting, why women have better sex under socialism, according to an anthropologist. And then, Newsweek posted, it reminded me of a Newsweek article back in the summer that was mentioning something about Venezuelan women turning to prostitution to survive because of the economic crisis they had, where they were starting to eat zoo animals and things like that. I mean, there's been people out there that have already been eating flamingo as a delicacy, but when you're forced to due to economic means, ouch. Or, lack thereof. But I was kind of having a joke about it there, because I was sitting there kind of determining, okay, so women's orgasms and sexual gratification is what base perfect socialism, basically. So that's what we have to completely focus on for the entire movement to work. But it wasn't real socialism, and it never is. Whenever socialism fails, it's never real socialism. That's the same song and dance. It's the same thing with communism. It wasn't real communism. Oh, do more people need to die from starvation? I mean, are those those rookie numbers that you need to get up or something like that? I mean, so it's perfect sophistry at its finest, and sophistry basically is where you say it's just one of those it is what it is sort of things without any evidence to back it up, where it says, I am an eel, all eels are named gray fox, therefore that gray fox is an eel. So that's kind of what sophistry is in a nutshell. So by this logic that Vox is so putting upon us with their excellent journalism, best journalism ever.
Yeah, the greatest.
The logic is, how has life been under socialism? Oh, we get fucked daily, which is pretty much true. So therefore, the conclusion based upon that is, sex is great under socialism, because people get economically and socially fucked. Mm-hmm. Gotta love it. It's a great sophist analogy, so... But yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell. Every Friday we decided that we're going to basically mention articles that we find written by Vox, BuzzFeed, Vice, things like that. In the meantime, if you find anything, leave links in the comments if you want to, if anybody does. We haven't gotten any yet, but we're still new and we're probably not going to be extremely popular. But we got some views. We got some people watching. Shout outs to everybody who's been watching. Video Game Emulation Crib on Facebook. Maybe Politically Incorrect Overwatch, Zombie, and also Ardith76, also Starkiller69. I mean, everybody who's been spreading the word, hopefully our friend Mr. Todd there, and our lovely Witch Rose. Maybe we hopefully, just a little nickname I've got for her, because I love her icon. It reminds me of a witch with an owl, so not a negative witch, don't worry. But to everybody who's everybody's been listening. We really appreciate it. And again, we're just having this for fun. So Fridays we'll go over fake news articles. Tuesdays we'll have longer discussions about topics. If you have anything that we want to talk about or touch base on, just leave us comments and we'll definitely do it. Upcoming week again, Pikachu is going to be heading home for a week, and she'll be back on Christmas, and we'll go back to recording that following weekend. Now our folks are coming down on the following weekend for the semifinals for Notre Dame Clemson, so hopefully we'll get to that. They sent us some nice gifts. Got Notre Dame undefeated shirt and a nice Notre Dame button-up shirt, and they put a picture of me firing the Chris Vector up at Battlefield Vegas back in May on the Christmas letter to our family, so I thought that was pretty cool. All right, well, let's get to gaming. And
funny thing.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
This is Norm McDonald with the fake news.
There you go. I'm Norm McDonald. This is the fake news, our top story. Best weekend update anchor ever. Nobody holds a candle to him today. Nobody. The people, he didn't even need to use Clinton all the time. Sure, he bashed O.J. Simpson a lot, but he made it funny. Nowadays, it's just like Trump, and, you just say his name and everybody just laughs, and it's like, oh, brother, find something original. Find something, just, instead of hating the guy, just, find something that you can tease him about and be witty about it. I mean, George Bush, they found great ways to make fun of him. So, but with Trump, it's pure unadulterated hatred. But that's another topic for another time. All right, well, we'll get to gaming. So thank you very much for your patience, and we'll see you on the next video.